So this is how we're going to try and play out against a diamond shape against us. So we can see the blue team are in that diamond shape with the narrow shape, what we would call it, because they've got a lot of players in this central area. And we've obviously got our wide shape in our 4-3-3. So our objective is, can we exploit kind of these areas here when we're trying to build the play to get into this midfield third. So if we look at it from the stadium view, we can see that narrow shape from the opposition. Now we need to be careful about a few things here. So the position of the two centre forwards is going to be really key. What you're probably going to see is them taking up positions here. And then what that means is they're blocking off kind of this area where we want to go, and players we want to target to get on the ball, i.e. the fullbacks. They're going to try and block that off, and what they're looking to do is force the play into the midfield area where they've got their strength, of course. So that's what they want to try and do. So we need to be really careful about the two midfield players, the 10 and the 8, actually taking up a wide position too early, because what will end up happening is your opponents will end up marking on the outside shoulder if they're clever enough, and then what that's doing is that's actually moving players closer to the target areas that we actually want to move the ball to. So we have to be careful about dragging those players into areas that we don't want them to be in too early. So let's keep them narrow by staying narrow. That's the objective here, because we want to move the ball from this area into the midfield third, and then we can build our play from there. Now, if they switch off at any time, then that's great. It opens up these pathways. So we can see here, if we get on the ball, that we've got that clear line of pass to be able to play the ball to the fullback, and then off we go. And in that position, then they can go and attack the 2v1 against the fullback. And then we're travelling into that midfield third where we can start to build play. So we've achieved our objective. However, if on the majority of the time, which if they do their job properly, we're going to be in this situation, let's look to add an extra pass. So let's still look to get our passes to either one of our centre backs, but then we're looking for the in and out passes now. Two options potentially that are going to be available more often than not is into the 8 and straight out. Think about the pressure that's going to be on you, so it's going to be limited touches. If you can do it one touch, that would be preferable, because the quicker we can get it out to the 2, then we can then attack that overload. If it is too tight in there, then 7's still looking to potentially come into that space, drag the 3, but still looking to play quick to get in and out. So again, look at it from the perspective of red 4. So we know there's a narrow shape here. We know the pressure is going to be coming from the 9. Can we look for that in and out pass through our 8? Objective complete. Or if the 8's really tightly marked, can we get the 7 coming off the line to then play a really quick in and out to then get to the same position? And then based on how the opposition react, we'll think about them coming across and being compact. Then we need to be really clear about players in and around the ball to be available if we need to shift it into space. So in this situation, if we're moving it out to the wide areas, what that's probably going to do to the opposition is it's going to drag them out of this narrow shape, and then that will actually increase the spaces in central areas. So think about opposites. They start with a narrow shape, so let's do the opposite of that. Let's move the ball out to the wide areas. But then once it goes into a wide area, it's going to pull them out of their narrow shape, and then there'll potentially be spaces, if this is blocked, to play through.